Hey, everybody. Dirty Thursday brought to you by River Cities Speedway. Oh, yeah. Greenbush Racetrack, Greenbush Race Park. Announcer Keith Cumming in the studio today. Yep. Be going over track schedules, talking about last year and this year's schedule. Chad's not here, and Keith said, what? Another procedure? Something like that. But Chad, I know he's watching right now. Nick, William, Chad, Daryl, Craig, Al, all of you people already watching. Hello, everybody. Our show today, by the way, brought to you by Northwest Tire. Speaking of Chad, they're looking to hire a front counter salesperson. You'd be working with customers, writing up work orders, things like that. Deal with selling tires, the inventory of them. Pay will depend on experience. Also, the benefits list, the benefit package is pretty good. PTO, health insurance, 401k, all that kind of stuff. Give Chad a call if you have any questions, all right? 701-780-8473. You can also check it out online at nwtire.com. If you have any questions or comments for myself or Keith or anything, feel free to call us or text us, all right? 701-213 0863 is our number, 701-213-0863. Quick time for your daily segment, Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me. Here we go, Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me. I'm not a basketball guy, but we're going to do a basketball joke. What do you call 12 millionaires around a TV watching the NBA Finals? What do you call 12 millionaires around a TV watching the NBA Finals? Well, that'd be the Minnesota Timberwolves. There we go.
I would have said LA Lakers. But.
Yeah, well, I wish. Yeah, I'm not a big Laker fan. There we go. Okay, first off, we're going to go through a few things here. Good morning, everybody. The Bulls, it says. No racing this Saturday in Devil's Lake. And by the way, Devil's Lake looking for a flag man. If you know anybody out there that wants to flag at Devil's Lake, reach out to me or reach out to Heather and Nolan at Devil's Lake. Home of Economy had the Indoor Racer Showcase last Saturday. Of course, we were there, and it was one heck of a good time, a good show. Place was packed there for a while. You couldn't even walk in there. We talk about Devil's Lake canceling for this weekend. River Cities Speedway now was scheduled to start a week from tomorrow on the 5th. That has been pushed back, hopefully, to the 12th. There might be a test and tune coming up. We'll wait and play that by ear, but you'll hear it here first, all right? On Dirty Thursday, brought to you by River Cities Speedway. And one more thing I wanted to mention, feel free to get a hold of me if you wanted Forks Karting Association raffle tickets. They've got some incredible cash prizes. They're only $10 a piece. Get a hold of me. I've got a whole book here, and that way Kenny's not yelling at me because I haven't sold any of them. So feel free to get a hold of me here in the Grand Cities Mall, Grand Forks Best Source. And here we go. Keith Cumming in the house. How are you, man?
Hey, good morning.
How was the drive?
Not too bad.
Yeah. No, you said not a whole lot of water up there, just in the kind of the areas where it normally is.
Right. Minnesota Oslo is usually pretty high, and it was.
Now, for people that don't know you, you are the Greenbush racetrack announcer, but you live and work in Warroad.
Correct.
And how long have you been up in Warroad?
I've been up in Warroad now almost 36 years.
36 years. Now, we were just talking before we went on. You are an alum of Northland Community Technical College.
I am.
Radio and television program.
Yep.
And we're kind of fired up about this because for the first time ever, they're going to have a reunion.
Yeah.
And they've been around for 50 years. That reunion's coming up. I'm going for sure, and I hope you do.
I'm thinking of going, yes.
Yeah, I can't wait. I know there's a lot of people I'd really like to see. I would really like to see Howard Rocky, our old instructor. Don Jorsted, unfortunately passed away, but it was such a good time of my life from what I remember. I remember getting yelled at a lot, saying I smelled like cheap booze, but a lot of us did. Well, the drinking age was only 19, back in the day, and a lot of these guys were North Dakotans or whatever, and they thought this was heaven. They could come up here and drink when they're 19, but anyway, there we go. How's your winter been treating you?
Not too bad.
Getting long.
Too long, like everybody else's, but not too bad.
Yeah. Now, if you were to talk about last year's schedule and how the year went, I mean, you guys really didn't even have an official rain out or anything, did you?
No, we had one race canceled after all the heats are in, and for us, that's an official, full program. Mm-hmm. Of course, it just happened to be when the Rebel Midwest Mod Tour and the Street Stock Tour was in town.
Yeah. Never fails.
Never fails, it seems like. The Street Stock Tour, this will be the third year there, and they have yet to compete or complete a feature.
Yeah.
So...
me being from Thief River, I used to ranch on an A-mod, so we were up at Greenbush every week. And the people, it's weird because people in Grand Forks do the same thing. Buffalo River, Devil's Lake, Greenbush. We kind of take it for granted, that we have a facility to be able to do what we do. And a lot of people, and I really started paying attention to it after this last past racing season, Greenbush is a hidden gem. We might not think that, but people that have never been up there, when you look at some of their quotes and what they say about Greenbush, it really is a nice racetrack. It is, I don't know, I'm going to call it a hidden gem, but it's everybody that goes up there, I don't think I've ever heard one complaint.
Yeah, there's others that have said it's a hidden gem too, and then, or it's too far out of the way,
Well, big deal.
Yeah, but yeah, we consider it a hidden gem. You're going to get 3 lanes of racing. It's going to be smooth. It's fast. And it'll just be a fun night.
We got some more texts here. Let's see. What do we got? Boy, I say we get the 3 Devils Lake announcers in there. You, me, and Chad Hoff. Oh, that'd be kind of fun. Hey, that would be a good show. A lot of people watching. Tommy Eglin loves running in Greenbush. It's pretty cool when the sprint cars get up there. And one of the long time ago, I was there, and it was, Bobby Martin and Brendan Wild colliding as they crossed the finish line. And Brendan Wild launched over the fence and over part of the grandstands. It went rolling down, but I remember that like it was yesterday. But the sprint cars, when they're there, they put on a pretty good show.
Yeah, they haven't been there now for a few years. I don't know why that is, but
I don't know. It seems like they like to go south.
Yeah.
But when we look at this schedule coming up this year, let's see here. NLRA, 5 different times.
5 different times.
At Greenbush.
And all points races.
All points races,
all
too.
All points races. So we should have a pretty good turnout of the NLRA crew. We're going to open with them on May 27th.
Yep.
And then they'll be back in, I believe, June, July, August, and then our double feature on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, end of September. That is unreal. I know you were trying to get Trapper to come up here with you today. We always try to get him.
Yeah.
I think he's just shy.
Well,
everybody
really
claims they're
likes,
busy.
Yeah, I don't think he likes doing some of this stuff,
A lot of people don't.
But it's just, we're just talking here,
And speaking of that, I have been trying to get Nick Umdahl on this show. Or the NOSA sprint car driver, Zero Car. I've been trying to get him on the show for years, ever since we started it. Talked him into coming next Friday or next Thursday. How about that? So, Nick, I hope you're watching the show. If not, I know your girl is. And, you will be sitting in that chair a week from today. And we can't wait. He's actually going to take the day off from work because I think he probably will have to. It's anything like last Thursday.
Yeah.
The schedule you guys have got. Okay, first let's talk a little bit about last year. We talked about no rainouts. It was a great year for racing last year.
It was.
Was there any events last year that just really stood out for you?
Oh, that lightning sprint shootout. That was a good night.
And it's even growing more this year.
Yeah, definitely. Now that it's going to be a national race.
Yeah.
I know, was it the Sexton crew, not Brent, the dad, but the son, Grant.
Yep.
Led here in Greenbush, or at River Cities, crashed.
Yep.
Led in Greenbush, spun out, and I think he finally redeemed himself Sunday.
Yeah.
If I remember right, he
in
ended up winning in Glendon. But man, I mean, he should have walked away with that points title.
Yeah, and one of them just got hurt in a wreck.
Yeah, out in California.
Broken vertebrae, I believe.
Ooh.
So hopefully, I mean, we saw it with Dobmeyer. Hopefully, it's not as bad. It didn't sound like it was as bad, but hopefully we'll get to see him up there. I had such a good time, and now, they added that Thursday night at Devil's Lake.
Yep.
So it'll be, Thursday there, Friday here, Saturday there, Sunday at Buffalo River. That's a hell of a 4-day swing for these guys.
Yep.
And lightnings have changed so much.
Yes.
Back in the day, you could tell the guys that were running snowmobiles. You could see the big clutch covers and all.
Just the
They're
sound
really,
of them.
yeah, and I loved it. A lot of people hated it.
Yeah.
I would close my eyes dreaming I was back watching the Wall brothers, ice racing, snowmobiles, and things like that. But now that they have kind of got everything together as far as sanctioning bodies and rule packages and things like that, Them lightning sprints, I tell you what, when they come to River Cities Speedway, their track times, their hot lap times are very comparable with the late models. I mean, these guys, if they don't have to let off on the throttle and they can keep that momentum going, the lightning sprints they're hauling the mail, man.
Well, up there, the track record for the sprints, Austin Pierce. holds
Okay.
the track record up there, 11.304 seconds.
Okay.
The track record for the lightning sprints belongs to Presley Trudson at 12.117 seconds. So
Wow.
it's less than a second.
Yeah.
You know,
Isn't that something?
so I mean, speed-wise, they're right there.
Yeah, let's see here. Sorry, yes, it was Shane Sexton injured in a wingless 410. Oh, he was in a sprint car wreck. Okay. Thank you, Amanda Joe. At least she's still watching.
Yeah.
I texted her about 11 minutes before the show and said, hey, you want to come and host? And she was kind of giving me a hard time at the Racer Showcase about all the time and notice I give her whenever I beg her to come into the studio. When we look at the upcoming schedule, is there anything that really blows you away right now, Keith?
Well, all the touring series that come in, you know, with the Rebel Midwest Mod Tour, the Dirt Race Central Street Stock Tour, the Moonshine Mod Tour, and then the Minn Kota Power Ride National Sprint Lightning Sprint Tour. I look forward to all those, you know, races because you know you're going to draw in the best of the best.
Well, absolutely. There is a couple of classes here that I've never got to see. I'm gonna start at the top here. Hopefully May 27th. You guys should be good to go. I would think May
Hopefully,
27th. But what a great way to kick off the year. I mean, you got the NLRA Wissota Late Models, and that is a point show. You got the Wissota A Mods, which is one of my favorites, which are there all the time. You got the Wissota Midwest Mods, Wissota Street Stocks, Wissota Pure Stocks, and 4 cylinders. One thing that I noticed on your schedule is you have got the Midwest. What are they? The smaller mods.
Oh, the Mod 4s.
The Mod 4s. I've never seen them run. What are they like?
I haven't seen them on a regular. I've seen them at the. It was the Western 100 many years ago.
Okay.
They run them in Bemidji and some other tracks down south there. They should be fun to watch. I mean, it's not a real big track, so it should be, you know, just good for them. Mm-hmm. And then we have them 4 times this year.
Oh, wow. That is nice. How come I'm looking at June 17th, no races? Is there something else going on that weekend?
Kicking up country.
Oh, sure.
We get the drivers, but we really take a kick in the pants in the grandstands.
Right. Now, and the thing is it's not even in Greenbush.
No, it's
and
20 miles further west.
Yeah, and it's not even really country this year either. They got all kinds of rock bands coming this year, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know what? And that is kind of the one thing that that racetracks do. They do kind of help out what's going on around. I mean, I know racetracks talk. You know, we don't want to schedule a big show on your night. Kicking up country, same thing. You know, let's just take the night off.
Right.
You know, it gives some of these drivers an opportunity to maybe go visit a different track. There are diehard race fans.
Yes.
And, you know, darn well there's people going, okay, kicking up country or Greenbush. What do I do? What do I do?
That's kind of our case, you know. They figure kicking up country is one weekend a year.
Sure.
They miss one weekend of racing, you know.
Mm-hmm. It just sucks that our summers are so short.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
just everything changes. It's like, well, there's a million things I'd like to do if it was in December, you know, but we don't have that luxury up here.
Right.
Okay, I'm looking at these now. Okay, what's the Dirt Race Central Street Stock Tour? We were talking about that earlier. These guys, where's the nearest place anymore where people are running street stocks?
Just about every
Or super
place.
stocks, I mean, isn't it?
Super stocks, no.
The Dirt Race Central, I just put SS Tour.
Yeah. Oh,
Street stock or super stock?
It used to be the Steffes Street Stock Tour.
Okay.
And then I think Dirt Race Central come aboard as their primary sponsor.
So it's a street stock.
Yes.
Okay. And then July 22nd, the Wissota A Mod Special. What is that going to be?
Moonshine Mod Tour.
It's the Moonshine Mod Tour. How did that come about? How did they come up with the Moonshine name?
You have to ask Benji Fromke. I think he's the one in charge of that. It's kind of the remnants of the old Advantage RV Modified Tour.
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm.
From what I understand, that they weren't going to do it this year, so I think Benji kind of jumped in and organized that.
Okay. Then we talked a little bit about August 12th coming up. That's the 2023 Power Eye Lightning Sprints Nationals. We had Jason Berg on the show a couple of weeks back. They're expecting a big turnout for that.
Yeah,
I mean, there's going to be cars. Sounds like they're going to be coming from not only west of the Mississippi, but hopefully east too.
Yeah, he's already got those 2 Canadians signed up.
He does, huh?
And I think he's got 20 drivers signed up not from the area.
Not from the area.
Yeah, so and then there's at least 20 in the area.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, we're looking at, we could possibly get 50 cars.
possibly.
Boy, would that be a great show. August 26th, Wissota. What special is that?
That's the Rick Johnson Memorial Street Special.
Okay, that's the street stocks. And then wrapping up the season, I mean, what a great weekend. You got NLRA late models, Wissota A mods, Midwest mods, street stocks, mod 4-cylinder, powered lightning sprints on the first day. And then NLRA late models again, Wissota A mods, Midwest mods, street stocks, pure stocks, mod 4-cylinders, powered lightning sprints. You guys got a hell of a schedule this year.
8 classes of cars for that Labor Day weekend.
When you, being an announcer, when you see that there's 8 classes that night and it's a 2-day show back to back, what's the old voice box telling you by the second day there?
By the second day, she's pretty worn out and raspy.
Yeah, worn out and raspy. Are you like me? I kind of figured this out. People will say, well, how were the races last night? I usually judge it on how my voice feels at the end of the night. If I'm struggling and I'm hurting, I know the odds are it was some pretty darn good racing because let's face it, you and I, we don't just talk when we're at the racetrack.
Right.
I mean, when the racing gets racy, so do we. We get a little loud, don't we?
Yep, we have to.
You have to. You have to is absolutely right. Tell you what, we're going to take a little break here. Keith Cumming, announcer at Greenbush Racetrack, is with us today. We're going to talk a little bit about Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Life is fast. Everything has got to be done like yesterday, including oil changes. In fact, I'm overdue. Stop into Valvoline Instant Oil Change. You know, they're usually done with you in and out in about 15, 20 minutes. They do tranny and coolant flushes and tire rotations and batteries. When you go in for your oil change, here's what they do. They top off your fluids. They check your tires, your battery, your lights, wipers, your cabin air filter, and they change your oil. You'll get discounts for fleets in the military. They can text and email invoices and coupons. And if you mention Grand Forks Best Source, here's what they're going to do. They're going to knock $10 off your oil change. It's worth it right there. Valvoline Instant Oil Change are open Monday through Saturday. No appointment needed. Pickup and delivery available if you live in Grand Forks, too. I tell you what, for a complete oil change and more, check them out. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. What a great group of guys over there, too. 3325 South 38th Street or call 701-780-8462. Make sure you tell them Grand Forks Best Source sent you. And we're going to be back with Keith, but first, let's hear from Muskox. Hey, if you move snow with a skid steer, you've got to see the Muskox difference. A patented back drag feature allows operators to blow snow while back dragging in front of obstructions. You know, garage doors, siding, and fire hydrants. Now, this saves time and money while lowering injury risk by decreasing manual labor. The optional dual auger, called the dually, helps the operator eat through big snowfalls, ice-crusted snow, and blow more snow while back dragging. And the glide plate, it allows you to glide over grass and gravel without ripping up the soft surfaces. Subsequently, create an instant torque of the lower cutting edge to break up snow and ice to better expose hard surfaces. See the Muskox difference. Go to muskox.com or Facebook at Muskox Snowblowers or call 218-288-1905. See the difference for yourself. It's the Muskox difference. All right, we are back, and thanks to Muskox and all of our sponsors for bringing you the Dirty Thursday. Keith Cumming, announcer at Greenbush, is here. We got a whole bunch of texts. We were talking about the Sexton boys, Keith. Let's see, Brennan Grover, there's been way too many spinal and other injuries already this year alone. Zach Umdahl watching, Travis, Marty Kleva, Amanda Joe, yes, it was Shane's section injured. We've got the 410. There's been way too, okay. Look how it affected Alex Bowman's NASCAR career, getting injured in a sprint car. He's out potentially a month. Now, I heard rumor has it, Rick Hendrick released now that he's not letting any of his drivers run on dirt anymore, which I don't know is going to affect how that's going to affect Kyle Larson. I did see something on social media, and I think Kyle is going to try to run the Indy 500 this year too. So I don't know. I mean, what do you do when you got a guy like Kyle Larson or you got a guy like Alex Bowman or any of these guys that, you know, okay, I'm going to race for you, Rick Hendrick, for how many millions of dollars a year, but I'm going to go race sprint cars and, like what's his name got hurt skiing, what don't you got to put, I mean, in my opinion, you shouldn't be able to tell somebody what they can do or not do with their life. But when you're getting paid millions of dollars to do something and you can't because you did something stupid, like went downhill skiing and hit a tree or whatever, do you think these guys should be capped? I mean, you could have a job. I mean, okay, just for an example, say you work for Budweiser. You can't drink a Miller Lite. If you do and you're seen, you're probably going to lose your job. I get that. Should it be that way for racing too?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that one. I know Hendrick is just trying to protect his drivers, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
But I guess when they're not in a race car, they should be able to do what they want. It's their own time.
As long as it doesn't affect them the coming Sunday.
Yeah, right, the NASCAR schedule.
And I mean, let's face it, you and I, between the two of us, you think about how many hundreds of pretty brutal wrecks we have probably seen in our careers. Yeah. And 99% of the time, the guys walk away from them.
Right.
And you see this one. I mean, his wreck, Bowman's wreck, didn't look that bad until he landed it. It was kind of ugly. But, I mean, even when Dobmeyer broke his back, it looked like nothing.
Right.
When Dale Earnhardt was killed, looked like nothing. It's just a bummer that guys are getting hurt. Kevin Pappenfuss, great seeing you guys last Saturday at Bruce's. That was a great time. That's always a good time over there, isn't it?
I could sit and listen to those old racing stories all day
long. I know. And the first time they invited me over there, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I knew like Tommy and I knew, Jeff Liebrick and a few guys like that and Bruce, but a lot of those guys there, I had just heard of them, and I'd heard of them my entire life and finally got to meet some of them. But when I found out that thing was going on, I wanted to stay way longer. But, we got to home economy at like 9:30 in the morning or whatever it was, 10 o'clock. And it got to be a long day. But thank you to Bruce Hart. Boy, that was a great time.
He goes above and beyond.
He does. He does. I mean, just the beer, the food. The fun.
Yeah. I
mean, and then he's got racing on a TV. Yeah. I mean, you can't beat it. Brendan says, crazy when we have 2 3-day shows with hard racing, how by the end of the weekend it hurts to talk. Announcers, you know what? Yeah, we all know what we're talking about. He says, Kyle Larson said himself, I feel safer in a dirt car than I do NASCAR. I don't know how much NASCAR you watch, Keith, but I think a lot of the guys are saying that because look at the last 2 years. You throw the Kurt Busch in there and the concussion issues that have been going around. I don't think these guys are really totally happy with that package yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch a whole lot of NASCAR. It got too boring for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, NAPCAR. Kyle Larson owns High Limit Series, can't support his own series, which I never thought of that. If he's not going to be able to go race in his own series, that's something. That's that big money one where, I was kind of hoping they were going to get River Cities Speedway or somebody up here on that, but you mentioned it. You said this about Greenbush. We're too far up north.
Yeah.
It's just too far to go. It is, but you know what? If the World of Outlaws can do it, why can't they?
Right.
That's the way I look at it. Do you do anything to prepare for your Saturday nights? I mean, my preparation is, of course, you read up on things during the week. I know you and I are a lot different. I prepare by first stopping at the Broken Drum. I have a can of vocal lubrication, maybe 2. And then I go, but do you have a routine that you go through? I mean, I always make sure I go get this done before I go to the pits, and here's who I go to see, and this is what I do. But is it that way for you too, or do you just kind of wing it every week?
Well, there's a little bit of a routine. I usually write down my sponsors and stuff for the night and make sure that's ready. Find out who won the previous night here at River Cities or, in an other area track. And then I can't sit still on Saturdays. Drives me nuts to sit home. So I'm usually out the door by about 1:30. And then I get to the track and open up my booth, make sure all that stuff's ready to go, and then just hang out.
Yeah. Are you single?
I am.
Okay, so you don't have anybody barking at you about, geez, you really have to go this early?
Right.
And because I'm not kidding you, if I could, I would probably be there by noon or 1 o'clock on Fridays, because I feel bad when I try to make it down to the pits every night if I can before races start, but I don't have time to talk to everybody I really want to talk to. by getting there at 5 o'clock or whatever. And that's not even to mention like Little Canada and stopping at some of these areas, you know, around the pits and the parking area, because I mean, let's face it, race fans are about the coolest people in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you could, I mean, maybe one day we should just say, you know what, there's no racing today, but all you fans, let's just go hang out.
Yeah.
Because that would be a blast.
Yeah.
I mean, are there people, we get the Canadians down here in groups of people, but we all see them. The guys that, and they're probably not from Greenbush, but are at that track every Friday
Oh,
or
yeah,
every
exactly.
Saturday. It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, and then they all sit in the same spots, so
Yep.
you know, you can walk. When I walk up the stairs, I'm looking, you know, saying hi to these people that are there every weekend, and when they're not there, you kind of wonder, oh, what's going on?
Right.
know?
Well, the grandkid graduated.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let it go this time.
Or there's a wedding, and I still can't see why people get married during wedding or race season.
You know, I know 100 people that will say the same thing. What do you think you're doing? You don't get married during racing season or hunting season.
Well, unfortunately, one follows the other.
Oh, I know. When you go to Greenbush, I want to focus a little bit for a minute here on you're wrapping up the year, September 2nd and 3rd. Now, if somebody wanted to go up there, and because there's things to do around that area. Greenbush is a fairly small town, but do they have hotel accommodations? And is there that near? And I mean, you're not that far from Roseau and Warroad and other towns, but if somebody was to do that and they're thinking, okay, how can I do this? Would it be better to bring a camper, a tent, find a motel, or what would you recommend?
I would say bring a camper. We do have some camping spots here at the racetrack.
Okay.
I think it's like $25 a night for just electricity.
Okay.
You can camp anywhere on the grounds for free without electricity.
Oh, sure. Okay.
You know, so as far as motels, Greenbush, no, not really.
Okay.
And then that's another 20 miles back to Roseau, 40 back to Warroad, and then it's same 40 from Thief River.
Okay.
So-
yeah, for some reason, I thought Greenbush was a lot farther away from Thief than that. So it's really not that bad. I mean, you got less than an hour drive, you know, a
Right.
little over a half-hour drive, and you got a decent motel. But there's things to do around there, too, especially at that time of the year. I mean, gosh, if you're a fisherman, you could run up to Lake of the Woods quick. There's all kinds of things to do.
And most of the time, you're just having too much fun after the races
Exactly.
to go anywhere.
Right.
You know,
I'm just going to
so-
sit here by a campfire and party with these guys.
Right.
I did want to know this, and I'm sure you're not going to be able to answer me this question, but we talk about, I mentioned the Wall brothers earlier, Dave and Dermont have been around forever. I mean, since I can remember. I do occasionally run into them at racetracks. You know, they come to River Cities once in a while, but those guys are still going strong. Do they offer tours at Wall Brothers Racing? Do you know? Because my entire life, and this was when we used to go race Strathcona and all that way back in the day, I've always wanted to go check that place out.
I think they do.
Okay.
I'm not 100% positive, but I think if you could call ahead or message ahead, they'd probably take you through.
You think name dropping would help?
My name won't get you any place.
They're like, who?
Yeah.
In the winter, you know, what do you do with your time? I have a hard time. I mean, I'm lucky enough. I call some hockey games on the radio and things like that, but winters drive me nuts. I'm not a snowmobiler anymore. I don't skate anymore. I don't do any fun outdoor activities anymore. I sit inside and I wish for fishing season and racing season, but what does Keith Cumming do all winter?
I kind of hibernate.
Do you?
Yeah. Not a big fisherman, so that's kind of out. I like my high school hockey.
Yeah? Oh, yeah.
You know, I try to follow that, and then of course Sioux hockey. You know.
And Warroad was pretty decent this year.
Well, I don't even follow them.
Oh, you don't?
No, that's just a sore subject.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
bleed too much green.
Oh, you mean like Roseau green or what?
No. I'm an East Sider.
Okay, are you originally from East Side?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. God, that's funny. Did you? Well, you talked to Ryan Corbett on Saturday
Yep.
over at.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, he had his son with him.
Yeah.
Kid's turning into be a baller of a hockey player for a sophomore. He's doing really good. I didn't know you were an East Sider.
Yep.
And it's funny because if we're going to talk about sore subjects in Warroad, I had some people reach out to me about things going on with the Warroad girls high school hockey program, and
Yeah.
a lot of complaints.
Yeah.
But none of them would come on the show and talk about it, and
Yeah.
I really wish they would have. I've heard a lot of things. We were dealing with it back in my day, back in '83.
Yeah.
Basically recruiting and how you can get away.
Back in my day,
Sure.
Late 70s, early 80s.
Wow, isn't that something? But they always get up there, don't they? They always make it down to the state tournament. Boy, that is crazy how that works. So, your thoughts on East Side this year? Do you get to go watch them play at all, if you can?
A couple times.
Yeah, I suppose when they're up in Warroad or Roseville, you're going to watch that.
Yeah, and then I made it back to East Side here for a game against when they played Cathedral.
Oh, okay. Okay, that was a day game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that compared to a night game. If you ever want to come and watch a night game, by the way, just get a hold of me beforehand because, I know you got to get back to work, but I live basically 2 minutes away from the rink.
Right.
So it's always fun going to the Civic Center. What do you want to talk about?
Whatever you want to talk about. A couple things I guess we don't have on the schedule yet.
Okay.
The Baker Cup.
Oh, yeah. Elliot Baker is a
modifieds.
very good friend of mine.
Passed away way too early in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
And this would be the 23rd year for the Baker Cup. Wow. And then we also, not scheduled yet, is the Olson Cup for the Lightning Sprints.
Okay.
For Chad and Corey.
We go back to Elliot Baker. I'm a Thief River guy. Elliot was a very good friend of mine for a long time. I used to wrench with Brian Wild, and we used to park usually right next to each other. You had Elliot and Bruce, together. And I still remember because what happened to Elliot, I was here then. I was living in Grand Forks, and I heard what had happened, and he was in the hospital. So when I went to visit, they said, "We're sorry, he passed away." And I didn't know that. And that hit me hard. Elliot Baker was the kind of guy you definitely did not want to have as an enemy.
Right.
He was one of those guys you definitely wanted to have as a friend.
Yep.
And him, his family, the guys working on his cars, they were all friends of mine. And he will be missed. And how cool is that, though, for Greenbush to kind of honor Elliot and have these shows like that?
Yeah. Yeah, he started out in the street class a couple years there, and then he moved up to the modifieds, and he was just a wild man.
Oh, was he?
I know one night he got a call against him, and he just lit up the tires.
I remember
and was off to the pits.
And then you just leave him alone for an hour.
Yeah, leave him alone till after the races, and then he can open up, the whiskey bottle behind the seat in the rollback. And
Bruce Walker, his pit guy back then, was probably the toughest SOB, one of the ones I've ever met in my entire life. And when Elliot was in one of those kind of moods, I don't even think Bruce would go approach him. He would just he knew better. It's like, nah, I think I'll just kick back here. And speaking of Bruce, when I was up at Greenbush here 2 years ago, I ran into him. I hadn't seen him forever. That's what's really cool, and that's why I'm hoping I can get to Greenbush again this year because it's kind of a different deal, compared to who I see here, compared to who you see up there. Right. I get to see a lot more of the Thief River area people when I go up to Greenbush, and that is one of the, I had so much fun when we were up there. So if you're going to miss any more races, let me know because I'd go back up there again in a heartbeat.
Not on the horizon, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. I know there's a lot of sponsors that help make Greenbush Race Park and Racetrack go. You got any of them off the top of your head?
I do, but I wouldn't do justice to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I know we got a long list of sponsors that have been with us probably since day one. I always mention them every race night, plus the sponsor that night. And then at the end, I always say, please support these businesses that support racing.
Yeah.
And that's,
it's hard to
without them, none of us would be able to do it.
No.
No racers, no tracks.
Absolutely. Let's see here. We got a bunch more texts. I didn't even see that. Let's go over these. Kyle Larson's okay. Amanda Joe, Casey, Terry Blacklance, Greenbush Race Park. One of the best kept secrets in dirt tracks. Track is nearly always perfect. Mason Aaron's racing videos. Might have missed this, but Keith, which event are you looking forward to the most this year at Greenbush?
Any race you want to come and visit, Aaron.
That's the one you're looking forward to the most.
It seems like every time you show up, it rains. So.
Yeah. Paul Erickson, Lightning Sprint driver, says that's what beer is for. Helps you forget winter. It sure does. Ran into Paul last night. Good talking to him. Aaron Holton's watching. How are concessions in Greenbush? Do they have a bar, restaurant, kind of like Devil's Lake does? Or
we do have a beer garden. Mm-hmm. And then beer concessions out of Roseau kind of takes care of the food part, and the race park does the popcorn and the pop and stuff
Sure.
like that.
I remember when I was there, the food was good.
Yeah.
And beer and dirt tracks, well, we all know they go together hand in hand. It's a deal.
Especially when it gets about 88 degrees
Yeah,
outside.
no kidding. And the humidity starts going up. Now,
Yeah.
this year, River Cities Speedway, they're bringing in Busch Light. I don't know if you heard that.
I heard that.
That's going to be huge. That is going to be huge. I don't know if they haven't said anything about Bud Light yet. But as far as I'm concerned, we don't need that anywhere.
Yeah.
So what do you do now until racing season starts? I mean, the clock is it's ticking. You can
Yeah.
hear it.
I'm kind of like a stat freak. You know, I like keeping stats on stuff.
Okay.
So I'll kind of slowly put my binder together to get ready for the opening week. I wish I would have brought it in, but last fall I did a little thing about most wins at the track in the 10 years that Tractor's been running it, and published that. But yeah, get a little more excited as each week passes.
So do you take notes after every night and kind of keep it together as in your binder you're talking about?
Not so much notes, but I keep notes for the race because I do the write-ups.
Sure. Oh,
for,
sure.
For all the dirt in the local papers.
Oh, right. Okay. I was going to say, quit it. You're making me look bad because all I do is I go to Stephen Lewis or Stephen Jesus, and he's like a walking statistician.
Yeah, well, he's far better than I am.
Yeah. And the 80s was way hard on me. I can't do that. But Stephen, he's kind of my guy. Hey.
I don't have a camera on me. But I did have a question. So, if you look at the picture of the track there, because I don't know much about racing. So to me, does the River Cities have like a higher bank because it's a shorter track?
No.
Or it's
just higher banked.
Yeah, it's just higher banked.
We added banking to our track 2015, 2016, and just made the racing much better.
Oh, much
but
better.
It's not as high as what River Cities is now or what it used to be.
Yeah, River Cities is probably higher, more banking than the average dirt track. That's why the speeds are so ungodly fast here.
Yeah,
I mean, they really move.
so why don't the other tracks do it like that?
For one thing, money.
Yeah,
it costs a lot of money.
Be feasible. I mean,
Because I think Devil's Lake doesn't seem like it has like nearly as high. That kind of looks more like Devil's Lake to me.
well, if you went and stood on the top of corner 1 and 2 in Devil's Lake and looked down, you'd think you're four stories in the air.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
got more banking, and especially if you walk around River Cities one time and you're up there, it's crazy because
Well, it's like climbing a hill.
It is.
Yeah.
It really
Exactly.
is. It is. And it's if you go to like between turns 3 and 4 and go up to the top and look out the backside, because I've seen guys like Dobmeyer and guys go launching off turns 3 and 4. You're a long way off the ground before you come back down and hit that ground in the backside. That's a hard bounce when you come off of that one. But Greenbush is a great racetrack.
Yeah.
Great racetrack. You guys stay fairly dry there. I mean, most of the time. Does the water run off pretty easily there?
Oh, yeah.
Is it-
Yeah. The worst part is usually the infield.
and that's the problem with almost every racetrack.
Yeah. Our pits, over the years, they've taken and poured crushed asphalt
Yep.
in the pit area to harden it up. I mean, when it first opened up, if it started to rain, there was a bullet train to get out of there.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, people don't realize, too, now everybody's bringing these 80-foot haulers in that are about this high off the ground. And if they do go in there and if we do get rain and they get all muddy, imagine what it costs to go run that thing through a car wash.
Yeah.
And you're spending, if you're lucky enough to win any money, you're spending it all trying to clean your rig. And it's usually the racetrack is the least affected part.
Because most of the time, it all runs off.
Yeah,
so.
right. Oh, boy, I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying to figure out a good night to go up there. What I'd like to do is I'd like to tie it in with a little bit of fishing is what I'd like to do. So I'm going to have to get a hold of you, figure this out, and, maybe go hang out up at Moore Road for the day and go watch racing that night. But, if there's...
Maybe we can work out do a remote out there, or a podcast out there.
Hey, that'd be kind of cool. You want to co-host if we do?
Sure. I'm always looking forward to getting off work.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll make sure we do it on a Saturday. Do you work days, nights, or both?
Days.
Days? Okay, that's nice. So you had to take today off.
Yep.
We appreciate it. I mean, nobody should have to burn a vacation day to come and talk to me for an hour.
I got vacation time to burn, so it's
do ya?
no big deal.
Okay. You like working where you're doing?
I like the job that I do.
How long are you going to keep plugging away at it?
Probably at least another 5 years.
Another 5 years?
Yeah.
You already got plans?
No.
No? You think you'll stay around here when you're done?
Oh, yeah, I'd stay in the area for sure.
See, my plans are to be here in the summer. This is a long ways away. And it's funny because it drives my wife nuts. And the only reason I want to be here in the summers is racing
Yeah.
and catfishing. And then I want to go somewhere for the fall, maybe a month. And then I want to come back for deer hunting and Christmas and then go for the winter. I don't care. But as long as I'm here for my racing.
One winning Powerball ticket, though, can change all of that in a hurry.
Oh, it sure could. It sure could. I could build a nice house right by every racetrack, and then I'd be happy as
Well, that's
hell.
kind of a bucket list thing. Is a few years ago, is a bucket list thing to hit every Wazota track in the area. You know, the ones that I haven't been to. I think that would be.
How many are
fun
left
summer.
on the list?
Oh, there's still quite a few.
Yeah, that's the same with me. People are surprised, and they probably are you too, being an announcer, that I haven't been to the Husitz. I haven't been to Knoxville. There's a ton of tracks I haven't been to. I haven't even been to Ada or Fergus.
I've made it to Ada. Haven't been to Fergus or Lisbon or Husitz.
Yeah.
You know, it's try to hit a new one every couple years.
Well, maybe one year I'll get to do that. I thank you for coming on, man.
Well, thanks for having me.
Looking forward to heading up to Greenbush. Looking forward to getting the reports every week and finding out how things are going up there. And any racers that you're really looking forward to seeing this year? You know, it's always fun at the beginning of the year to see what they've changed and color schemes and all that.
Oh, I always look forward to opening night just to see all the new color schemes.
While they're
I've
still in nice shape.
been that way as since I was a kid. As far as any big race, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, looking forward to all the drivers coming in, and drivers, make sure you fill out the paperwork.
Yeah.
Because I take care of the paperwork when you come through the gate. And if you can get it filled out ahead of time,
Oh,
it's
makes
gonna
things
save a lot
much
of
easier.
time.
Much
You know,
easier.
for any track you go to, got to fill out the paperwork.
Sure.
Just curious who everybody thinks is kind of going to be the front runner this year. For some reason, I think Brendan Mullen is going to kind of be pushing the envelope on everybody.
He's going to be good in the sprint cars this year. You can never knock him out. We'll see what happens with Dobmeyer.
Yeah.
But when it comes up to Greenbush, with you guys, especially the mods and things like that, one name that always comes top of my list is probably Black Lance.
Yeah.
The guy just seems to tear it up there. But who are the guys that win consistently up there for you?
Oh, boy. It seems like there's a different winner every night. You know, it's that competitive.
And that's the way we like to see it.
Exactly,
Yep.
yeah. You can never... Well, Tyler Peterson
Oh, I
kind
know the
of
TPO, yeah.
put the stink on everybody last year. I think he won like 9 modified features.
Yeah, those A-mods.
You know, he had a hell of a weekend there with that mod tour weekend, winning all 4 nights.
Yeah.
So...
I'm wondering if I know that Terry Blacklance, he's been working on getting back in shape a little bit. I wonder if we think we'll ever see him back in a car. I know he's
I
watching.
think that
Maybe
was
he'll
his
answer.
goal, was to get back in shape, to get in back in a race car this year.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome to see him back. I know he's trying hard. Racing and catfishing, life's 2 greatest summer pastimes. Dave Hubbard, thank you very much. You agree with me. I like that. All right. Plans for the rest of the day, or are you just going to slowly work your way back up north?
Maybe a couple stops here in town and then head back north.
Well, thanks again for coming in, man.
Thanks for having me.
And I'll get a hold of you. We'll figure something out. I want to
Yes.
get up there. You can be my host with the most
Sure.
for a day. That'd be awesome. All right, there you go. Keith Cumming, our Greenbush racetrack announcer on Dirty Thursday, brought to you by River Cities Speedway and Rumors Sports Bar and Casino. BT over at Rumors got a lot of stuff going on. In fact, the Sports Card Memorabilia Show is coming up Saturday, May 13th. Let's see. They've got all kinds of things going on. Don't forget, the Kentucky Derby party is not far away either. Your Kentucky Derby coming up in May. And your special tonight, you want to go get some good grub, sandwich it aside for just $7. Go watch your favorite sports team play. I know the Wild are off tonight, but you could probably go watch the Twins. Enjoy yourself, sandwich it aside, and have a beer tower. Man, that sounds like the best of all worlds right there. So thank you to Rumor Sports Bar and Casino. By the way, next week, if you haven't heard, guest on Dirty Thursday is NOSA driver Nick Umdahl. Yeah, we got him coming. Been trying for 3 years to get him on. Make sure to catch the Fork Sports Highway Show at 6:30 tonight. It is an awesome sports show for sure. I will catch you tomorrow morning. Remember to like, share, tag, and follow us. Hit that notification bell on your smartphone. You'll never miss a Dirty Thursday that way. We all know the Grand Cities are an awesome place. Well, Grand Forks' best source is giving them an identity again.